set you up. I don't think she did this, man.
Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth.
Wednesday.
Tamara is
a whore.
There's only one episode left.
It didn't go well.
Until the season finale.
I need to ask you something.
What?
Do you know Fatima?
And one epic showdown will have everyone talking.
Karen's calling me.
Really?
My sister has a lot of questions for you.
He's a married man. This is not going to be good.
Tyler Perry's Sistas, all new Wednesday.
All right, folks, this is the breakdown for the trailer of the penultimate episode of Season 6. Episode 21, entitled Lose to Win. Now, just to let you know, this might be a lengthy video. I have an entire page full of notes from both the end credit promo and the 30-second promo that you just saw at the start of this video. Let's get into it. As Gary's misdeeds collide, Sabrina's good news will have a negative effect on Maurice. Hayden confronts Fatima concerning Tamara. Michael's fate is revealed to Zach and Fatima as Karen makes a life-altering decision. Yeah, this is a pretty hefty synopsis, and we got to break it down piece by piece. Before jumping in, let me just say, I don't know if it was just the algorithm helping a brother out or what, but thank you so much for making the trailer breakdown I did last week hit close to, if not by the time I post this video, 150,000 views. That is a big deal. I haven't seen numbers like that in quite a while. So hopefully this video exceeds that. That would be amazing. Or just does, 100,000. I'd be cool with that. So if you are watching this video, please hit that thumbs up button and comment your thoughts on the trailer, because the more engagement on my videos, the more YouTube pushes them out and suggests them to other people, because a lot of people who were non-subscribers watch that video. And if you are here for like the first time, welcome. If you've been on this channel many times, but you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, because I'm trying to hit 300,000 subscribers really soon. Social media links are in the description, and hit the bell icon and select all. That way you do not miss out whenever I post content on the channel. So we are going to start this off talking about the Gary, Hayden, Tamara stuff, leading into Hayden confronting Zach and Fatima at the law firm. So it's funny because Hayden isn't, I can believe this. He's in complete disbelief. His wife walks him out of the house. Have a good day at work, baby. I'll see you when you get home. Gary rolls up, brushes Tamara aside, hands Hayden a folder, and basically exposes her as being a plant. Gary is trying to get Hayden to understand, hey, this is not what you think it is. She set you up. No. I don't believe that, man. I don't believe that. Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. Tamara is a whore. This reminds me of the Boondocks when granddad got with that younger girl. We told you she's a garden tool. But from there, we got Hayden confronting Tamara in the house. I need to ask you something. What? Do you know Fatima? Who? Which is weird, because if you remember when Zach and Fatima talked with Hayden and Tamara at the law firm, before Tamara walked up, Hayden even said, Fatima, I think you know her. And then he brings Tamara over there. And if you don't remember, that's when Zach said, look at him go, oh, look at those two, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So he then goes over to the law firm. But before we get to that, so the synopsis says Michael's fate is revealed to Zach and Fatima. I wonder if this means something happened to Michael in between the time when Zach and Fatima left the apartment last night and then this morning when they're getting the news from that lawyer. Because one thing fans pointed out is, how are they going to say Michael's okay and then they don't show Michael on screen? Like, was he in the other room or something? I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. But in any case, the lawyer simply states that, it didn't go well. So the reason for that is unknown to me. Does it have to do with the fact that, okay, Mr. Taylor, we understand that you are the father, but you are just now finding out about Michael. It's been 3 years. I honestly couldn't tell you why it didn't go well, because it doesn't seem like Heather has much of a defense that she could, rustle up in order to use that against Zach. But I don't know. So from there, the lawyer walks off. Zach and Fatima hug each other. And just then, when they're having a moment, Hayden rolls up. Fatima, so you like playing games, huh? And then Zach is like, hey, somebody come get him before I do. Because, this dude is pissed off. Now, going on to the next part, Sabrina's good news will have a negative effect on Maurice. Now, Sabrina, we see her arriving at like an outdoor restaurant, or an outdoor area of a restaurant. This reminds me of the set piece used in Zatima when we saw Bryce go out on a date and then he found out his cards and money were frozen. But then also the same location where we saw Fatima and her mom go on a lunch together, and she told Fatima about, hey, your father's inviting Zach and I'm inviting you to come over to the house for a talk later on tonight. So yeah, I like how they're recycling the same sets to add some flair, because even though we saw this set in Zatima, now we're seeing it in Sistas too. And it looks like she's meeting with her boss. How are you? Honestly, I think that's a question I should be asking you. So how are you? And I guess this is when Sabrina finds out that she's getting her job. But remember, Sabrina's good news will have a negative effect on Maurice. So the good news, Sabrina's good news is obviously she's getting her job back. They wouldn't put good news if, she wasn't getting her position back. The negative effect on Maurice, I don't know. He's not fired, because he will be working at the bank in season 7. Maurice will be working at the bank in season 7. I also know he's going to have his own, web show. I don't know if it's like a podcast or something. I know I covered it in a video a while ago, but when season 7 news was rolling out. But Maurice is going to be at the bank, and he's going to have an internet thing going on. So the negative effect, I don't know if he's going to have a lower ranked position. If maybe Sabrina won't be his boss anymore. I could actually, that would be an interesting concept, because most people have said, going back from season 1 to now, if Maurice had any other boss but Sabrina, anyone else he wouldn't be able to walk all over. He would have lost his job a long time ago. Maybe, yeah, I think it must be something where Maurice is in a different position. His pay isn't going to be as high, or he will be reprimanded in some way, shape, or form. Because honestly, truthfully, I think he should, because just getting on, that's the one thing I'm liking about Sistas lately. Andy being exposed to oh, you were messing around with Gary, now you gotta, face up to it by talking to Penelope. Preston not just walking out on Danny, but telling her the truth, whether or not she wanted to hear it. And Maurice, it's just like, look, your bad decisions led to a lot of issues for a lot of people. Which begs the question, has the bank been closed this entire time? I remember when Logan came in and arrested these two at the beginning. No, the end of season 4. Didn't they get arrested at the end of season 4? And yeah, because Sabrina and Maurice were missing for the first half of the season. So he said, yeah, bank shut down. So I wonder if the bank has been shut down this entire time as they were doing an investigation, but now that it's over, it's reopened. And if that's the case, the bank probably lost out on a lot of money and whatnot. So yeah, there's probably going to be a shakeup in the power structure of that bank from now on. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So from there, let's see. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're going through this trailer breakdown. All right. As Karen makes a life-altering decision, I think that boils down to the decision as to whether or not she wants her old shop repaired or she gets a new shop. And I did see a photo, which I'll do a separate video on, which may indicate she is getting a new shop. And just a side note here, because I really don't want to jump too far ahead, she does seem wild. She's amazed by the building. And then Brian's like, so do you like it? So it looks like she does decide to invest in this new building. I just want to say that the new Karen we see now, I hope we see from now on. I get it. I feel like if she's nice for even the next, let's just say if she's still in a good mood throughout the entirety of season 7, I feel like I speak for everyone when I say I'm still going to be treading carefully with caution due to the fact that that crazy switch can come back on any second. This isn't me being negative where it's like, oh, Jeremy, there you go. You can't even give Karen the benefit of the doubt. It's like, well, if you look at her behavior the entire series, I have reason to go, okay, I mean, I like this new Karen, but is she going to stick around? How long is this going to last? I just feel like, you know, if she does indeed get a new shop and whatnot, I think it's what's that say, you know, let go and let God. And when you let go of certain things you've been holding on to for so long, you're making room in your life to be blessed with something better, you know? So I feel like her finally letting go of Zach and, you know, that hatred and bitterness towards Fatima, like no matter how many times she says, I don't have a problem with you, even though she said several times, you know, what my problem is you. I feel like her letting go of that is allowing her to receive everything that she's been blocking off because she's been so hell-bent on holding on to this thing from the past and blaming this person and going off on that person. So seeing Karen potentially getting some W's here by letting go and accepting her L's, I applaud her for that. Hopefully I won't have to retract my statement in a couple of weeks if she goes back to her old ways, but I'm trying to give credit where credit is due, at least in the present. So speaking of Karen, there's a moment where Zach, I believe he's probably heading home from the law firm, and he's like, hey, Karen's calling me. Fatima's like, really? And it looks like Karen is giving him a call from that new the new shop. Why is Karen calling Zach? Maybe to ask if Fatima followed up on like the baby clothes and whatnot, but I would find it interesting if she, and I know how people like, look, you know what? No. Zach doesn't need to have anything to do with this. Hear me out. Especially because Andy already gave the money, so it's not like he's looking for money. I'm wondering if Karen is giving Zach a call to get a second opinion on this building. Brian's a contractor and whatnot, and you know, he's showing her the place, but don't forget that Zach has experience in chain breakers, fixing up buildings. But then on top of that, Rise Ventures is about property and, checking out properties and determining whether or not they want to purchase it, renovate it, and then flip it. So perhaps she is calling Zach to get a second opinion on the shop. Now, no, Zach, stay away from it, because if something goes wrong, then she's going to blame you. I completely understand that mindset, but I do feel like it's a viable reason for her to call. Or it could be the close. I don't know. From there, Danny's at the airport, and she's talking with Tony, going about, I'm worried about the whole airline sometimes. And Tony's like, hey, you can always come work with us. And Danny's like, no, thanks. We could potentially see Danny decide to, change, jobs, which I guess that means she would have a different work uniform or something, which would be pretty interesting. But we also have a moment, and people keep asking me, what is she talking about? Danny seems to be on the phone with Sabrina, and she's like, he's a married man. Who is this married man? Does that mean like, Preston probably just left to go back and marry Mindy, so he's married? Could she be referring to Tony? Could she be referring to Rich? I have no idea. I'll have to do some research, but for right now, I have no idea who this quote-unquote married man is. And I believe the only other things to talk about here pertain to Andy, Jordan, and Penelope. So it looks like Jordan and Andy go to lunch, because I think Jordan told Andy in last night's episode, hey, I gotta go. You work downtown, right? Because I'm actually going downtown later today for a meeting. So can we have lunch or something just to talk about the situation? And they're at a restaurant, which I believe is the same restaurant set piece from Zatima, where Fatima and Angela went in season 1. And I think it's cool. This isn't me griping about it. I like seeing I like seeing different set pieces, because it just adds further fuel to the whole, these shows take place in the same universe. I'm not talking about the timeline. I'm talking about like, it makes sense for these people to go to the same, same places to eat and whatnot. So, Jordan's like, my sister has a lot of questions for you. And Andy's like, I really didn't want your sister to find out. Well, yeah, she really wants to talk to you. Now we get a moment where I believe Andy is either getting to work at the beginning of her shift, or this is after she comes back from her lunch with Jordan. But in any case, Penelope just rolls up and Andy's like, what the hell are you doing here? Penelope's like, I really need to talk to you. Now, part of me is like, Andy, that's a bit rude. But then at the same time, I'm a little afraid for her. I'm not saying that Penelope is like Fawn. Remember Aaron's ex-wife, who started popping up everywhere, if I remember correctly, at Karen's salon when Karen was going to open up the shop and she was alone outside of Karen's house. And then when she showed up in the salon to get her hair done and then shoot herself, I hope, Penelope doesn't go down that route. I'm just hoping for Andy's sake. Like, I don't feel bad for Andy because of her own choices, but I don't want her to go through the whole crazy stalker lover kind of thing. It's like, hey, Penelope, let's just talk. I mean, I feel like as much as Andy doesn't want to have the conversation, I think, just get it over with, because just explain to Penelope, look, let's sit down, schedule a time, we'll talk about everything. But to be fair, I just want to have one meeting. So let's just take care of it at once. Cause I don't want you just randomly popping up and everything like that. Okay. So let's, go over your questions. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And then from there, just talk to Gary if you want to talk to him. But me and you ain't nothing else to say. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Now, I do hope that Andy brings up Jasmine, because there is one line of dialogue where it looks like we only see the back of the head of the person she's talking to. And I don't think it's Fatima's hair color. So I definitely think it's Penelope. And Andy goes, this is not going to be good. So I do feel like maybe she'll bring up the Jasmine thing. I hope so anyway, but only time will tell. So yeah, that's all I have for the trailer breakdown. Like I said, this is a bit beefier of a video just because the synopsis was long and this trailer had a lot of scenes to break down. So yeah, things are cooking up. I hope that this episode is better than last night's. I think last night was solid, save for a few parts, but hopefully this episode does good, and then the finale does spectacular, and then we'll go back into a new season. Season 7 at the beginning of 2024, January 3rd. So, like and subscribe. It really does help out. Please make this video blow up. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one.